Traders. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And it's time for our conversation with the Minerals Commission and the CEO of the Commission, Mr. Martin Ayisi, is here with me for that conversation. Good morning.
Morning, Randy.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Sorry I missed last week.
Yes. You've missed 2 weeks.
Last week I didn't make it. The week before I was here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, last week we wrapped up on the lithium thing. You told us about the agreement and all that. There are a few issues coming up on that. I'm sure that maybe next week we'll be able to deal with those issues. I've seen something by the IEA, and then the former Chief Justice has also spoken about that. And so I'm sure that those specifics we'll deal with next week. But this issue seems never to go away. And it's linked a bit to some of the issues that have been raised. And I'd like us to focus on that today. I always refer to a statement made by the Ochihine some time back, that if exploiting the minerals will not improve our lives and will not help us, but it will rather lead to degradation and all manner of things, then we might as well just keep them down there and not exploit them. I want us to look at that, and then I also want us to look at the issue of investments in exploration. It's something that you raise any time that we speak about these issues. But let's start off with the issue of the bigger picture. I mean, with all the wahala, we might as well just forget about this thing.
Randy, thank you very much. Randy, it cannot go away. And that is what we should be doing. You see, in the past, before you realize an agreement has been signed, then it's only when certain things happen in the communities or there is an issue, that is when you get to know, oh, government has entered into this agreement. Even getting the agreement is difficult until we have this EITI thing which says publish what you pay, transparency, publish contract, etc. It was difficult for anybody to just assess some of these mining or petroleum agreements, until recently. So it's good. It tells you that these are a program. People are watching, people are listening, people are getting education, and then people want to, know what affects us. I am not claiming monopoly over wisdom or knowledge. But as I read the commentaries, as I hear people talk, one thing stands clearly. People require education. People are asking questions, and they are entitled to answer questions. Ask questions, and they must demand answers. So the fact that the document is now available, people are reading, people are assessing it, people are holding all kinds of meetings, workshops, seminars.
Critiquing it.
That is how it should have been in all sectors. Then people get to know where we are. So let me discuss some of the issues, maybe this week, next week, so that people understand. Because you see, my feeling is this: people are just taking the agreement and just reading it. And they are not looking at what is happening internationally, what is happening around us, and what actually is the state of play when it comes to how mining works.
So you want us to look at?
So I want us to look at that.
All right, that's fine.
But before we come to that, let me correct a statement or something that is out there in the general public. Atlantic Lithium through Barari are not conducting any mining operation yet. They are not doing any mining because if you look at the statement or the comments by the former Chief Justice, Her Lordship Sofa Akufu, she said the agreement will have to go to Parliament. I think, Randy, you had asked that question. And I told you that we still have some regulatory steps that need to be completed. So yes, the company has been issued with a mining lease properly signed by the minister, which the law mandates him to do, acting on the recommendation of the Minerals Commission. That has been done. Now, there are other two things that you require before you can go to the ground and dig the stuff or exploit the mineral. Environmental permits. You need to get that from the EPA. So as we speak, they are going through the environmental permitting process. That has to be completed. Without that, they can't work. Then when they finish the environmental permitting process, there's public hearing, people raise issues, and all those things are addressed. They'll have to come back to the Chief Inspector of Mines to be issuing an operating permit. They may even have to apply for construction permits and other permits before they work. So even if Parliament should ratify the mining lease today, assuming Parliament should ratify the mining lease today, they still cannot conduct any mining operations unless they get an EPA permit. They come back to Minerals Commission, we give them operating permit. We even have to give them a construction permit. Okay? Then they can go now and start putting in place all the necessary infrastructure to start perhaps the construction of the mine.
At which point does the application for parliamentary approval kick in?
Once the minister signs, they have to take it to Parliament.
So the minister has signed?
The minister has signed.
Okay.
He needs to get it through cabinet and then take it to Parliament. That will be done, so don't worry. That will be done. So no mining is taking place because the impression is that because the minister has signed, people are mining. No. So what is happening now is that they are still exploring. Okay?
How do you explore?
Oh, they have a prospecting license. So when you have a prospecting license, you carve out either part or the entire place for a mining lease. So the retained area you can explore. And then under our law, if a company has a mining lease, you still continue exploring. So they have the right to keep exploring because their prospecting license has not expired. Their EPA permit has not expired. Their operating permit under the prospecting license has not expired. They only have a mining lease now. So exploration is permitted under the law, which they are doing.
What's the difference between exploration and actual mining?
It's very simple.
Yes.
Exploration, you are deploying certain technology or tools to look for a mineral. Okay, so you can do some trenching, you can do some pitting, you drill, you pick rocks, you take it to the lab, you assess. Okay, it's barely have anything more than 5%, chance of success. So that is what.
But haven't you gone past that stage with
They've gone that, but nothing stops it. Like for example, Newmont, they have a big mine in Kenya. Okay, Goldfields has a mine in Takwa. They are still exploring that property. If you have a mining lease, automatically you can be exploring. You don't need any different right to be exploring.
Is it not a back door to mining?
No, it's not a back door. You will know. Randy, if you dig today and you mine, we will know.
How?
Because you have dug the place, we will know. Even if you cover it, we will know. Our inspectors are there.
Also includes
exploration. The exploration, okay, you drill, you deploy a drill rig. Okay, the inspectors come there, they will know. If you mine, we will know. Okay?
Clarify something for me. I think a couple of weeks ago, I read a news item where I just want some clarification.
Yes.
Where some chiefs or traditional rulers in the Efutu area.
I will come to that.
Okay.
I
want you to clarify, is it the same one we are talking about?
No.
It's not
the same one we are talking about.
Okay.
And then this issue of Yenku Forest has come up again. Was it last year or 2 years ago where Nyenyi Gati, I hope I got the title right. Yeah, Nyenyi Gati, yes. And they got up and said, then I said, look, nothing like that will happen in the Yenku Forest. So
Yenku is in a Futu?
Yenku is a forest reserve.
In a Futu?
Yes, in a Futu or Winneba.
Yes.
Okay, Simpa, whatever you want to call it. They have different names. Now that place, I understand that's where they go for their DS, for their Abuache festival, that beautiful festival. Yes. Okay? Yes. He's not been granted for any mining. We have the record. So at the appropriate time, I'll meet him. I'm going to book an appointment, meet him and his elders, because it's our duty to do that.
So there's even no exploration going
Nothing
on.
is happening in the Yenku Forest.
But is something happening around it?
We have never granted any right in the Yenku Forest. So I'll put up a statement. I'll arrange and meet the Futu Traditional Council and the municipality for us to discuss that.
So that's nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with this.
Right.
It's nothing. So Randy, let's come back to this issue of mining. Yes. Randy, I want everybody to understand this. You see, the global mining industry or mining is like a bazaar or a street market. Okay? When you go to a bazaar or a street market, you see two things happening there. You have the shop owners, okay, that are displaying all kinds of wares, okay, food, whatever. Remember, different prices, quality, product, etc. And then you have shoppers like you and I who go there to go and look for various items to buy. You have your own list. So before you get there and you buy an item, you look at what? The price, you look at quality, you look at what is in display and all those things. And the mining, international mining industry is not different. Do you understand that? So there are over close to 100 minerals, and we are still counting discoveries are being made. And countries are endowed. And I want you to understand this. Randy, God is merciful. But I'm sorry, when it comes to geology, it is not like that. Okay? The geology by far of every country is known. Things change with technology. And now, Randy, because of technology, practically the entire world now is open for mineral exploration and mineral mining. Places that we couldn't mine years back, because of technology, these things have become possible. So, the shopper, who is now the investor, and you, the store owner, who is the country that is endowed with mineral resource, if he comes around, he has to look at your price. He has to look at your quality of the product. He has to look at other things. So people don't just get up and come to your country and come and invest. Any investor or international mining company that is looking for investment anywhere, including even locals, because I don't want also to create the impression that everything must be done by investors who are coming from outside the country. Randy, three things are very fundamental. One, geological risks, and not just geological risks, but also geological risks and reward. Your endowment. The investor will have to look at that. Do you understand that? So where the geology is such that it is even easier for him to make a discovery, he will do that. There is number two, there is also political and macroeconomic risks. Nobody will take his money into a war zone. Nobody will go into a country where taxes and things are changed overnight. And then the last one is fiscal regime. So the investor, whether local or foreign, he will look at the geological risks and the reward. He will look at the political and macroeconomic risks. Then he will look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, where will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty, 40% royalty, I ask the question, look, let's look at a few statistics and then it will strengthen the discussion. Randy, last year, and I brought figures, last year, total exploration spent, the whole world, is $13.1 billion. That is the amount of money that was spent by companies looking for a mineral. An activity that has barely 5% chance of success. $13 billion. That is the total worldwide exploration spend for last year. Okay? Now, about half of that goes to gold. So, let me put on record that gold is the most explored mineral. So, that means the more prospective you are, for gold, the more people will look at it. They will look at you. Other things being equal. Now, look at the figures. Canada attracted $2.6 billion. I'm mentioning the top 4. Australia, $2.3 billion. US, $1.5 billion. I think I sent it to you on WhatsApp. Chile, $730 million. So these are the top 4 countries where, most countries took their money to go and look for a mineral. By far, as I said, half of the 13 billion went to, gold. And then next in rank is base metals, particularly copper. Okay, these days the green metals are, picking up. So look at the percentages, and then we'll come to how we are faring in Africa. So the 2.6 billion gives Canada about 20.6% of the exploration budget, the whole world. This is Canada. Australia, 2.3 billion gives them 17.8%. US, 1.5 billion gives them 12.2%. Chile, $730 million gives them 5.4%. So if you like, almost about 4 countries control, let's say, about half of the world's budget for exploration.
They control about 7 billion of the 13 billion.
Yeah, that is it. Now let's come home and see the closest country. I've mentioned the top 4 worldwide. Closest last year figures, Mali leads. So Mali receives more exploration spend in Africa than any other country. They are number 12 worldwide and number 1 in Africa. Mali attracted $153 million of exploration just last year. That's about 1.1%. 1.1%. Most of it gold, and then, of course, lithium. And then number 2 is Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Their budget spend was $132 million. Of course, the bulk of it went to gold and copper. They are quite endowed in copper. So number 13 in the world. Then number 16 in the world, but number 3 in Africa is our gorgeous Ghana. So last year, the amount of money that was spent for exploration in Ghana is $113 million. 113. Then, of course, Ivory Coast is number 4, 110. Then South Africa completes the top 4. So Mali attracted more investments in exploration in Africa than any other country, 153, followed by DRC, 132, Ghana, 113, Ivory Coast, 110. Ivory Coast was number 1 last year, they dropped. And South Africa, 104. So the top 4, if you like, top 5 countries for exploration, according to the latest figures, is Mali, DRC, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and South Africa. You understand that? So that is the exploration budget. So you compare, so nobody is doing anything more than, if you like, 160 million compared to the top 4. So if Chile, is the biggest producer of copper in the world, and they are attracting $730 million, and then they host 40% of the world's lithium. So if you combine all the top 5, 6 exploration spend in Africa, the top 5, you add it together, you don't even get the budget of half of what was spent by investors in Chile. You want to charge 20% royalty in lithium. Okay? Ghana, well, let's do the maths. South Africa, 104, Ivory Coast, 110. That's about, let's say, 200. Ghana, 113. So that's about 313 million. Mali, 153. DRC, 132. So you are talking about barely 600 million worth of money that was spent on exploration, looking for the mineral in the top 4 countries in Africa. It is not even equivalent to what was spent in Chile. Okay? All these countries I've mentioned are leading countries for gold and copper. Ronnie, listen carefully. Half of the world's exploration budget goes to gold. I think the next big mineral after gold is copper. Okay? So you have Mali, you have DRC, you have Ghana, you have Ivory Coast, and then you have South Africa. All these countries are very prospective for gold. And DRC, very, very prospective for copper. South Africa also produces some copper anyway. Now, Chile, which is number 4 in the world, according to the figures for last year, attracted $730 million. Chile is the biggest producer of copper in the world, okay? And then also has 40% of the world's lithium. So, Randy, do you want us to go and charge 40 or 20 or 30% royalty? Nobody will come to your country. And I said last 2 weeks when I came here that there's a project in Mali. It's called Gulamina. Gulamina is nearly 3 times the size of Ewea. Mali is not charging more than 6% royalty. They have better reserves than us. Democratic Republic of, Zimbabwe has the largest reserves of lithium in Africa, number 6 in the world. They are not charging royalty more than 6%. So if you sit in Ghana and you say you want to charge royalty 50%, okay, nobody will come to your country. You could as well forget it. Now even locals will not do that. I will put my money in rare estate. Okay, so there are basically 2 ways. It's either you look at what is happening around you and you design your framework so that you'll be able to compete, or you do it yourself. So if the likes of the former Chief Justice Sofia Akufu, Institute of Economic Affairs, and other think tanks are saying that we are signing colonial agreements, we are raising to the bottom, we are giving everything away, then my answer to them is very simple. Resource geological survey. Resource geological survey. Buy them all the vehicles, give them all the money to deploy the technology. Ghana is open. Let them go out there, do the exploration, generate the data, package it, zone government, Ghana into blocks, either for lithium, any other critical mineral or gold. Invite investors, local, foreign, and then package it later and let them go to the gold room or the place. Right now.
But would that not be a more sensible approach?
Yes, and that's what I've been calling for. So let me now circle back to the small scale thing. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's even more demanding, or that's even where we need it. Mm-hmm. So Randy, 1989, Ghana was the first country in Africa to allow small scale mining lawfully. Mm-hmm. Something that was discouraged throughout the colonial days, even throughout until 1989, rolling still time, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when we started this ERP1, ERP2, and all those reforms, and we sold all those mines, what happened? Then we were told that a country like Togo that does not produce gold, your gold and diamonds and things are there. Mm. So now legalize, formalize the sector, allow people to do it lawfully. So we started a small scale gold law, mercury law, and then even PMC, so that people can buy and sell. Do you understand that? Just 5 regions: Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western, and Bolga. So we opened offices in these areas. Then you had anything between 50 to 100,000 involved. What we should have been doing since 1989, and Minerals Commission keeps sounding that alarm because the figure is there. Okay? CEO after CEO, right from Kofi Ansah, Wanya Miche, what do you call it, even Mr. I, who is now advisor to the minister, and then up to my level. The message out there is that every year put money down and give it to geological survey to explore all these blockade areas that Minerals Commission has designated as small scale block. Then we can pass it out them out for small scale miners. We didn't do that, or we've not been able to do that for like almost 3 decades, because about 34 years now, 1989. And then you have now come to realize that an activity that was being conducted in 5 regions is being done in 13 regions for good, save OT, where I come from, Volta, and Greater Accra. And you have from 50,000, about 3 million people directly and indirectly involved. It is not something you can deal with overnight. That's how we behave. And in any case, remember that the state used to run mines. Randy, the biggest producer of copper in the world is Chile. The biggest producer of copper in the world is Codelco. Codelco is a state mine. At least the Chileans remember Pinochet for that. Codelco is a state-owned mine. So to answer Sofia Akufu and all those people, we used to have a state gold mining corporation. The head office of Minerals Commission now was a former head office of the State Gold Mining Corporation. So we have been there before. We had the opportunity as a country to do it ourselves. Geological Survey, SGMC. So Takwa, Persia, Dunkwa Continental, Ghana Bauxite Manganese, these were all dominated and run by the state. We run them down like Ghana Airways. Like all those Georg Pharmaceutical, Georg almost all those state enterprises that were established by Nkrumah, we run them down. So we had to do these mining reforms and Akosiboche to sell the mines and diversity. Takwa was run by the state, Prestia, Dunkwa. So we have gone through an era where the people of Ghana or the state had the opportunity of running the mines themselves, like what Chile is still doing with Codelco, which produces more copper than even BHP or Rio Tinto. We run them down. Okay, so for me, I don't support we going back to state-run mines. But there are several...
No, I'm not sure that's what they're asking for.
Well, so, yes. No, I just want, people should know that we have a history.
Yes.
We had the opportunity of doing it ourselves, we messed up. Now, then the question is that, okay, so if you want to bring investors in, whether Ghanaians or foreign, it doesn't mean you should raise to the bottom. I get that. But Randy, if I get up today and say, I am creating blocks for lithium, these are the blocks. I'm inviting investors, local or foreign, for competitive bidding. You have to let people enter what we call your data room. It's the same thing in petroleum. Data room. What are they going to see? Where's the data?
But is that not what we should be doing?
Yeah, so when I came here 2 weeks ago, I said the short, medium to long-term solution is that if we want to do it well, we have to resource geological survey. Give them the money and let them do the exploration. That is one. Then number two, Randy, if you are looking at the picture, you have to look at the full value chain. Okay? You have to look at the exploration, you have to look at mining, you have to look at the value addition, you have to look at the full value chain. So the fact that you own the mineral and you are even the 100% owner, it doesn't mean that you can still benefit if things are not right. I heard Sami Jemfi tell you a while ago, shortly before this program, that they will have to reduce tariffs and then so that you see imported coke or any, just like the way local fabrics or textiles cannot compete with the cheap ones from China. So we have to understand that. Now, exploration is very risky. Let me repeat, it is barely anything more than 5%, chance of success. You can go and put, like BP, they went and spent, my lecturer told me when we went down there, they went and spent $200 million to look for oil in China. They didn't find it, they walked away. Do you understand that? So, if you want to do it, you have to make sure that you have the right environment.
Help me with something. Help me with something.
So that is what I want people to understand.
Help me with something.
Yes.
You have made this point severally, and today you've made the same point.
Yes.
Okay. That us investing in the Geological Survey Department or Authority
is crucial.
It's crucial. It's the way to go. In fact,
it is the way to go, because then that is how you can take advantage of the competitive bidding where everybody is talking about.
So that's exactly the point.
Yes, because you need data.
That you have made this point.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the advantages that GMPC even has. That for many people who came earlier on, they had to rely on data that GMPC had and all that.
Yes.
Now, so you have made this point. Now, how much, from where you sit, how much do we need to be investing in geological survey? Where we are now, we need to be investing in geological survey every year to be able
to do that.
To do that. Let's say if we decided that in the next 5 years, we want to have our own set of data in the next 5 years, how much should Ghana be investing in the geological survey?
So I'll take it from this angle.
Okay.
First, the quality of staff is crucial. Yeah? You need top-notch geologists to do exploration. So you must pay them well.
Yes.
So resourcing the institution and making sure that their conditions of service are good is number one. Or else, 2-3 years, they will come and then they will leave for the mines. Do you understand? It's the same thing. If you don't resource the Minerals Commission, you will not be able to retain the kind of people you have there. Today, we even attract people from the mines to come and work at Minerals Commission. So the whole institution must be resourced. Okay? That is number one. Well-paid staff, comparable to what is obtained somewhere. I mean, if you are paying somebody 1 cedi at geological, somebody is taking 2 cedis at the mine, it doesn't mean that you should pay 2 cedis at geological survey. But something good, training, and that's number one. Okay? Then number two, you need to give them the tools to work. It's all technology now. I'm very happy that they have just gotten a new rig. Government has gotten them a new rig, which I think in the next week or two, it will be outdoor, a new one, so that they can use it for drilling. They can even rent it out and get money. So in terms of equipment and all this, they need that. That will have to be done. Something has started. At least I know of the rig. So that is a kudos and that is a plus. We will need to do something like, let's say, about their condition of service so that they can attract the right caliber of what geologists to do the work. Because quality is everything. Then what we need to now do is that we need to ask ourselves, what minerals are strategic for us? Clearly, our nightmare, our headache now is how to get a place for some. I've been telling you this, that the biggest issue, biggest challenge for small scale mining is getting a place for them to work. That is the number one problem. So it means that we need to give them money to start exploring all these blocks that Minerals Commission have designated for small scale. That's one. And then we also have to identify certain minerals that we think is critical, looking at what is happening globally and locally. So maybe we need some money for lithium, for graphite, cobalt, clay, and other minerals. Anything between $5 and $10 million every year, CD equivalent, to be given to them to explore.
In the next 5 years.
Yeah, you don't need a $50 million. Here, somebody will say in account.
So how much do we get directly? I'm not talking about indirect. As a state, how much do we get directly from the extractive sector?
How much we get directly?
Oh, that is from taxes, royalties.
That is a loaded question. So, for instance, and then again, if you look at it that way, that may be myopic. But I'll answer that.
Yes.
I think 2 years ago, if you look at everything put together to the Republic, that's close to about, let's say, $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah, that is if you look at
dollars or cedis.
Dollars. Okay. So if you look at, let's say, the royalties, okay, which was paid, which until recently it goes to GRA, but now MIF. You look at corporate taxes, you look at all the various taxes they pay, withholding and all those things put together. We have those data. It's close about that. You understand that? Similar amount is spent by the companies just on contract mining. Listen carefully and listen to the analysis. Other than that, we'll miss the point. It's not everything that will have to go to the state. Because you see, if practically less money goes to the state and everybody is employed, okay, and gainfully employed and happy, the state and we are all okay. I'm saying that close to about $1 billion is the total receipt that government gets. Royalties, corporate tax, withholding tax, all those things put together.
$1 billion.
About $1 billion. Okay. The last data I have. I'll check the 2022 and give it to you. I think this is about 2021. Now, there are about 50 items on the procurement list which mining companies are supposed to procure, okay, or take into consideration when they are doing it. Some of them are totally preserved for Ghanaians. So, for example, contract mining, which by far attracts the biggest. Open pit is reserved for Ghanaians. And the underground, you have to do a JV with a Ghanaian.
No, there's a reason why I asked the question.
I'm coming to that. Yes. So here you are, 2022, my report, which I intend to discuss maybe the next 2 weeks, because next week we still have to discuss this mining environment. 2022, $912 million was spent on contract mining alone. There are about 4 new mines coming up, so we're going to cross $1 billion. I've not mentioned 50 items, just one. The same amount of money was received by government in receipts. So it tells you that the companies spend about 3, 4, perhaps 5 times more on procuring goods and services than they pay to government. So you need to design your policies and your, your program in such a way that you capture that. So if you get 1 billion and 3, 4 billion goes out for goods and services, you've still lost it. If, let's say, all the mines are owned by Ghanaians, okay? All the mines are owned by Ghanaians. Let's say 100% Ghanaians. Let's say what is owned by Newmont, Goldfields, Ashanti today are owned by Ghanaians. And then because we don't have the technology or whatever, you bring in people to come and do all those things. And many of the services and technology have to come from outside. And you receipt here and you get, let's say, 2 billion receipts. You still have about 3, 4, 5 billion going outside in terms of support services. So people are only looking at taxes and royalties. They are oblivious to the billions that are spent, daily for various inputs and services.
So let me tell you why I asked you the question. Why I asked you that question was that I was trying to do a cost-benefit analysis with respect to this country investing in geological survey for exploration purposes. Because the point has been made that because we expect companies, we don't want to invest, and we expect companies to take the risk to come and spend on exploration. That is the reason why we sometimes have to enter into some of those contracts that we enter into. And that if we were doing our own exploration and we had the data and they were just coming for the data, we could then make some of those demands that people are asking for.
Randy, yes, you have made my day end the program. Yes. It's over. That is precisely the answer.
Yeah. So
let me hop on it. Let me
tell
you.
Hold on 1 minute.
No, just get a second.
Hold on 1 minute.
That is it.
Hold on 1 minute. That's why I asked you how much. I asked you for how much we get. So I was just looking at the $1 billion. The $1 billion.
Let's say put together.
Yes, the $1 billion. And then I realized that $10 million
a year
is just 1% of $1 billion. $10 million. It's just 1% of $1 billion. So it definitely is a no-brainer if investing 1% of your receipts from the extractive sector into exploration to help you be able to ask for better and more in the contracts that you sign. It's obviously a no-brainer.
So I'm saying that for 34 years, this was not done.
Yes.
And perhaps the large scale, because it is more regulated, the small scale, you see the way the thing is blowing on our face.
Yes.
So people get up, they go to the water body. They get up, they go into the forest reserve. They get up, they dig everywhere. So that is the answer. Because if you tell me go competitive building, like Sofa Akufi was saying, like Institute of Economic Affairs was saying, the lobbies and all, everybody is saying that, we should be looking at competitive building. Where is the data?
But are they not? Are they not?
Where is data? So it is now that governments, after going, because Randy, I can tell you the reason. Yes. You see, 1989, 1990, 1992, 1998, if you go and tell government, I need just $3 million, CD equivalent, or even 1 million, even if we can give geological survey just even $1 million and say, go and look for limestone, clay, tack, etc., maybe in Oti part of Ashanti. It's wonderful. You know something? When you tell government that years back, he says, people are drinking polluted water. We have guinea worm to grapple with. I'm talking to what we've done to ourselves for the past, 30 years. I need to build schools. You understand? So now listen to them. This thing even barely has 5% chance of success. So school, water, and other social amenities and infrastructure will trump that. It is not easy. Do you understand? So that has been always the thinking until this small scale thing started, creating problems for us and eating us. And then we started telling government after government that if you like, unless you are prepared to spend money to do geological investigation, forget about it. You'll still be going around in circles and all those things. So that's what we are saying. That is it. Right now, people are looking, all these rich men in Ghana. If you tell them, people can count $5 million, $1 million, even 500,000 in it. I feel ashamed. I see quarterly returns or reports of companies listed on stock exchange in Toronto, London, Australia, or even where you have many of the listed companies for exploration in Vancouver. They go and raise sometimes $500,000. Okay? They drill a few holes, the resource is looking good, they file these things under those international way of reporting exploration resource. And then they raise $200,000, $500,000, $600,000. Bring it here, come and spend, do some work, go back again and raise more money. Okay? What is preventing us from giving it? So what? And then, so after having discussions with the Select Committee of Parliament, both sides understand. And I don't want us to do politics with this because it's about Ghana. It's not NDC, NPP. Yeah. Every NDC parliamentarian, every NPP parliamentarian, those in the Select Committee on Mines and Energy, they are the most supportive Select Committee I've ever encountered. They said, you are making sense to us. So don't come to Parliament without a budget that has not got a provision for geological survey, for mineral exploration. Thankfully, this budget they are discussing, there are a lot of millions in there to support geological survey for exploration.
How much?
If I remember, about $10-15 million.
Dollars?
Not dollars.
Cedis.
Cedis on our side. I'm yet to get a figure for geological survey.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay? Because, and that is even for small scale.
That's chicken feed.
No, it is not. Randy, it is not.
It's pretending and doing something.
No.
When we need to take the bull by
that
the
is a
horn.
mistake you are making.
When we need to take the bull by the horn.
You know, government has bought a rig for geological survey. Okay? Those rigs cost about $4 or $5 million. Now everybody understands. Because the thing is staring at us. If you're not careful, we will start digging cemeteries. You see, look at the price of gold today. So that is one test I want you to understand. So if you want us to use competitive bidding, which is already in the law, if you look at regulation 257 and 258, LI 2176, it is there that we can use competitive bidding under certain circumstances. But if you invite people to go to the data room for those blocks you are purporting to give out for competitive building, there's nothing for them to look at.
Yeah.
So Equatorial Guinea, let me repeat. And sometimes, if you cannot get the money for geological survey, you don't need to raise the money for geological survey. So let me give you the best example. Equatorial Guinea, they were approached by a company, I think from Europe, and said, you know something? Give me the opportunity to do the mapping and the surveying, everything for you, at no cost to you. We'll do it. We'll fund it. We'll do the exploration, generate the data. I'm talking about the oil and gas. We'll generate the data, everything, and then bring you the results. Okay? So they did that. So when you go to Equatorial Guinea, they will tell you, oh, okay, go and buy the data. They'll take it. You have to buy the data first. And then now you come and sit with them and negotiate. Now, look at the outcome of the results. They have data now, so they know what is there. So they can negotiate what? Better and dictate the terms. That's how Equatorial Guinea is tough on the terms like that. So you buy the data, and that will pay off the company. You understand that? That has done the work. And then at the end of the day, you split the rest 50-50. Okay. They went to Morocco. I hear they came to Ghana some time ago. So if we are struggling to raise money for geological survey, that is not the end of the world. No, I'm not.
Look at our
no, because there's no time. We can also look at the opportunity, and a lot of people have approached us. So somebody can approach us and say, okay, give me the Volta Basin. I'm going to spend about $50 million. And of course, they'll bring work program. We are also not stupid. We have top-notch geologists. They'll look at it and know that, yes, this indeed is worth so much. You sign off. They do the work. They generate the data. And then you can now, sell to people, do competitive building, and then now you can say that, look, this block, 50% is for the state. Come and pay for the data, spend your money. In the event we give you mining lease, 50% automatically is for the state. Okay. And then sometimes too, you can also negotiate better if you are very well endowed. It's important, and as called that round before we leave. Geological risk and reward is everything. Geology trumps everything. Then you look at maybe governance, political, which is part of the political and macroeconomics and all those things. So take a country like Botswana, the biggest producer of diamonds by value. The arrangement DBS has with the government of Botswana on those three big diamond mines, Leslakani, Huani, and Orapa, is 50-50. I think they got into that later on in life. They didn't start that way. So sometimes when people say, oh, look at Bolivia, lithium, look at Chile, look at Argentina and co, I randomly dismissed and said, you don't know what you're talking about. Do you expect us to have the same regime like Nigeria for oil? Do you? I'm asking that question. And do you want Nigeria to behave like Saudi Arabia? So geology is everything. The more endowed you are, the better. And these days, I'm saying technology.
Like they say, monkeys play by sizes.
Monkeys play by sizes. Right. So people should stop saying that, oh, we should have asked them to pay maybe 20% royalty. Even Chile, that has 40% of the world's reserve for lithium. They have 8 to 26. Okay, based on a certain margin. So it is even possible that many of them may even be paying less than 10% because they are also looking at the margins and all those things. So this education, and I love this program, this education must continue for people to understand that if you want better terms, then generate the data. If you want to generate the data, give the money to geological survey or allow people to come in and do it. You sell the data and you can negotiate better. Okay. But an activity that has barely 5% chance of success, somebody should not come and sit here you sit down, you don't do anything. 6-7 years, he spends $50 million, and then you get up and you say you should pay 30% royalty. In any case, when you do that, everybody will go to Mali. Everybody will go to DRC that have better reserves. And then you have to decide that, okay, then I'll let geological survey do it, and then we'll go and raise the money. But nobody, no Ghanaian will even like to pay 20% royalty. He will also go to another country. So this public education as to how mining works, people must understand it. Next week we'll continue.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we'll talk about value addition.
Right.
Because you need between 8 to 10 tons of the concentrate to produce 1 ton of the carbonate or hydroxide. So that is what you should be looking at. That.
So next week, let's continue and wrap up on what we need to do.
The investment climate
in order
for mining.
to be able to ask for more.
Yes.
All right. So we'll continue that next week.
And then my favorite example, even though I've not been there before, even if you are going to a shower line, unless that lady there is your customer, you even go and look around. What does that tell you? That's how mining works.
How do you know if you've
Well,
been there?
I've been seeing it when I'm driving past, people
but
walking around.
Describing what obviously happens.
It is just to tell you that if you sit here and think that, we have gold, number 6 in the world, the biggest in Africa. Listen, Randy, we have the highest cost of exploration for gold in Africa. Okay. Why?
So next week you tell us why. You tell us
why? Because of the VAT on exploration.
No, I'm saying you tell us. You will give us why we are.
That is what we need to do.
Yes. So we'll look at all that.
Yes.
All right. So thanks, Martin. Thanks for joining me, and I enjoyed it as always. Thank you. I'm sure that our viewers also have enjoyed the show. So next week we're continuing on this one before we get into value addition, and he's raised an extremely important issue. We'll look at how come it costs so much to mine here. So we'll look at the data from other mining jurisdictions, and then we'll look at the things that go into the cost of mining in Ghana and why we are more expensive than others. So these are things that on the face of it we don't seem to know, but we need to do.